YouTube, this is Primetime Pokemon. In this video, I'll be reviewing and then giving away the Night Striker Breakthrough theme deck. This theme deck is based around Noivern, and it is a Psychic and Darkness type deck. If you're looking for the other Breakthrough theme deck review, I did review the Burning Spark theme deck last month, and I gave that away as well. At the end of this video, I can try and compare the two Breakthrough theme decks to see which one I prefer best. But the first half of this video, probably actually the first 90% of this video, will be reviewing this deck and sort of going in depth on what you get on the inside, and then the last part of this video, I'll lay out the rules to entry for the giveaway. So I can turn to the back of the box, read the summary of the deck, and then here are the cards on the inside and what you get inside the actual deck. And decks are $12.99 in stores. You can find them a little bit cheaper online, more like $9.99 online. So it says, "Sound a victory cry, let rip with a scream from the night, and weave your path to victory in the darkness. Seize the power of Noivern and Gengar in the Night Striker theme deck." And then, of course, in the box, you'll find the 60 Pokemon card deck, the checklist, metallic coin, 2-player playmat, code card, deck box, and damage counters. And in every theme deck, you get the exact same 60 cards. Here are the cards that are on the inside. I've opened this deck already just so I could straighten out all the cards on the inside so they'd be in order, so I could go through them a little bit easier. I'll show everything that's on the inside here. Here is the 2-player playmat, the sheet of damage counters, burn marker and poison marker. Here is the breakthrough checklist, the deck box featuring Noivern. There's the front, there's the back, there is a coin, Mega Mewtwo, pretty cool looking. There's the online TCG code card, and the winner of this theme deck will receive that. And then the final item in the deck is in the preview window, and it is the special holofoil of Noivern, and this is the featured Pokemon in the deck. Okay, so I can show these 60 cards now, go through each of these. And of course, just like the other Breakthrough deck, you can add Noivern Break into this deck if you'd like. You'd have to take out a card if you do so. But right now, break cards just aren't that good in the TCG, in the metagame. They're just a little bit too slow to get into play. So the first line here is a 4-2 line of Noibat and Noivern. Of course, Noivern being that special holofoil card. So Noibat, a little bit low HP for a basic Pokemon, but it does have one move called Blot that does 10 damage, and it heals 10 damage from this Pokemon. So if you get this card into the active Pokemon spot to start the game, Blot will make this card seem like it has a little bit higher of HP, which is nice. So there's a 4-2 line, and then of course the only Noivern card in this deck here that I'm holding is the non-holo version. Noivern has a good HP for Stage 1. It is a Dragon type Stage 1 Pokemon card, but it does require both Psychic and Darkness type energy cards to use. 2 moves on Noivern. Tuning allows you to shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw a number of cards equal to the number of cards in your opponent's hand. So really, this is a trainer move, something that a trainer can usually do. And then Air Slash, for 3 energy cards, all 3 different types, does 120 damage for 3 energy cards. However, you must discard an energy attached to this Pokemon. So basically, Air Slash is the move that you want to use with Noivern. I just don't like that you have to discard an energy card after using it. But this is a Stage 1, so you might be able to get this card into the active Pokemon spot 2 turns in. If you can get 2 energy cards on this card in 1 turn, you can do 120 damage and pretty much knock out the defending Pokemon right away. And it does have a low retreat cost where you could retreat it, not a problem. The next line is a full line of Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar, a 3-2-1 line. And there are 3 Ghastly here, another Pokemon with a lower HP, so a bit disappointing on the HP. And it has one move called Sleep Poison. It It says to flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep and poisoned. So I don't know if this deck is going to be similar to the other Breakthrough theme deck, Burning Spark, but that deck had a lot of cards that was based on coin flips. Okay, so 3 of Ghastly. And then we move on to Haunters. Remind me of the Fossil set here. Okay, Haunter, extremely low HP for a Stage 1. This one does have an ability as well as a move. Its ability is called Gothic Fear, and it says when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may leave both active Pokemon confused. Unfortunately, this probably wouldn't be as useful as you'd like because it does confuse your own Pokemon unless you have something to prevent that confusion. Gothic Fear might not be that great to use. And then Poison Ring says your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. That Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. So basically, Haunter does exactly the same thing as Ghastly. It's just not based on a coin flip, and Haunter has 20 more HP. Still not impressed by either of these two Pokemon. We'll see if Gengar will make the entire line a little bit better. Just one Gengar. You could always add more than one Gengar if you'd like. 130 HP, so a little bit lower HP for a Stage 2. 2 moves. First move is called Sinister Fog, and it says to put your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned, so it goes with the pattern of poisoning the active Pokemon, and it says put 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So I do like that move quite a bit, especially in a spread attack type deck. That would be a useful move. I don't like that all 3, Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar, are all poison, because if you've used those cards in the active Pokemon spot, more than likely Sinister Fog is going to have no reason to poison the defending Pokemon because it probably already is poisoned. And then Creepshow, for 2 energy cards, it says if your opponent's active Pokemon has 3 or more damage counters on it, that Pokemon is knocked out. Now that is a very interesting move. This is a great card to have, like I said, in a spread attack deck, especially against something like a Mega EX that has 200 HP or more. Get 30 damage on that Pokemon. Use it in the spread damage where you do 20-30 damage to each bench Pokemon. And then you move Gengar into the active Pokemon spot. Well, it'd have to be into the active Pokemon spot, the Mega EX. But still, if your opponent is depending on Mega EX Pokemon for their deck, they're probably going to use that in the active Pokemon spot. If you put Gengar into play, they see this move, they might retreat it, or if they do keep it in the active Pokemon spot, you can knock it out in one move with Creepshow. So I like Gengar quite a bit. I set up this entire line on the bench. Just keep it there until your opponent decides to put basically a Mega or anything that has a very high HP into the active Pokemon spot. So I do like Gengar. That makes the line pretty good overall. Now we're on to a Ralts Kirlia line. No Gardevoir in the deck. 2-2 line. Ralts 60 HP, so a good HP. Nap heals 30 damage from Ralts, so it makes its HP seem a little bit higher. And then Smack does 20 damage for 2 energy cards, so a solid starter type card here. Something that might be a little bit better later on in the game, because it can probably withstand 1 attack if that attack doesn't do 60 damage or more. Okay, so 2 Ralts, and then 2 Kirlia. Another Pokemon with low HP, only 80. 2 moves on this one. Beckon allows you to put a supporter card from your discard pile back into your hand, and then Quick Turn does 30 damage times the number of heads you get when you flip 2 coins. So now that's the second card that I believe that's based on coin flips. Okay, so here we have a Cresselia, just 1 Cresselia. Really do like the artwork on this card, but that doesn't matter on how good it is. There's 110 HP on this card, so a good HP. Its ability is called My Way. It says if there's any stadium card in play, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. And then Moonlight Gain does 70 damage for 3 energy cards, plus it heals 20 damage from Cresselia. So again, this is a card that you'd probably want to set up on the bench and move it to the active Pokemon spot, and then be able to do 70 damage per turn. Okay, next up there are 2 Misdreavus cards. 60 HP, so a decent HP, but not the greatest, and it says to put 2 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon, so it's a good starter type Pokemon, doing 20 damage for only 1 energy card. Okay, next up here is Wobbuffet, and this card has 100 HP, 2 of these in the deck, 2 moves. Mirror Barrier says to flip a coin, so another move that is based on a coin flip. If heads, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks during your opponent's next turn, and then Rolling Tackle does 50 damage for 3 energy cards. So unless you think you're going to get a heads when using Mirror Barrier, I would not use this card in a deck because Rolling Tackle's underpowered and it has a high retreat cost. Okay, next up here we're getting into the Darkness type Pokemon. You can add both Noivern Break and Zoroark Break into this deck. Zoroark Break is probably the best break card from the Breakthrough set. Zorua, there is 2 Zorua and 1 Zoroark in the deck. 60 HP, 2 moves on this one. Moonless Madness doesn't do any damage but confuses the defending Pokemon, and then Dark Edge does 30 damage. However, you must discard an energy attached to Zorua. Okay, so 2 of those, and then on to Zoroark here. 100 HP for stage 1, so that's a good HP. Has an ability called Stand-In that says once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon. So basically a way to give your active Pokemon a free retreat cost. And then Mind Jack does 10 damage plus 30 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So this move has a potential to do a great amount of damage. So I actually like this card quite a bit, especially since you can retreat your active Pokemon for free with Stand-In. So I definitely like Zoroark quite a bit here. Add Zoroark Break and still be able to use Stand-In and Mind Jack. Definitely recommend keeping this card in the deck. Okay, so next Darkness type Pokemon we have is Inkay, just 2 Inkay. Lower HP again, but it has 1 move called Disorderly Flip. Does 10 damage times the number of heads you get when you flip 4 coins. So potentially can do 40 damage per turn. However, it is for 2 energy cards, and this card has a low HP. Okay, now we're on to the last line of Pokemon in this deck, Teddiursa Ursaring, 2/2 line. Ursaring has, Teddiursa, has a good HP of 70, but its move requires 2 energy cards as opposed to 1. But it does do a fair amount of damage with 30. So I suppose if you know you're going to evolve Teddiursa into Ursaring right away, you could use this card in the active Pokemon spot. And then Ursaring, very good HP for stage 1, 130. Slow on the attack, but you can expect that. 3 colorless energy cards and 4 colorless energy cards to attack. Drag Off allows you to switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active, and this attack does 50 damage to the new active Pokemon. So you get to choose which Pokemon you want in the active Pokemon spot, so potentially you could knock that Pokemon out that you put into the active Pokemon spot, and then Swing Around does 80 damage plus 40 more damage for each heads you get when you flip 2 coins, so it could do 160 damage per turn. So that's it for the Pokemon in this deck. I'm actually a fan of quite a few of these. I would say this deck has a little bit better of attackers. This one's really more ready to just go out and play with, whereas the other deck from Breakthrough, Burning Spark, had a lot of cards that you'd want to stash on your deck, and they'd be good supporter type cards, but the deck really didn't have any main attackers. So I would give the edge to this deck in Pokemon that can be used right away. Both are probably average as theme decks, but I like the strategy involved here. You can spread some damage around, poison the defending Pokemon. I really like Creepshow on Gengar. I really like Mind Jack on Zoroark, and then I really like Ursaring quite a bit as well. So definitely prefer, like I said, this theme deck's Pokemon over the other Breakthrough theme deck. Both are average overall, but I definitely give the edge to this deck. And now we're on to the trainers and supporters. This deck probably has pretty similar trainers and whatnot as the other Breakthrough theme deck. That's usually the way theme decks go. And Trick Coin, you want to add that to this deck because there are quite a few moves that require coin flips. And then Muscle Band you can always add to increase the attacks of all of your Pokemon. So Fisherman, I actually like this card quite a bit. It allows you to put 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. Now Magnezone from the previous Breakthrough theme deck really would utilize this quite well. This one isn't utilized so well, but it is nice to have plenty of energy cards into your hand. Giovanni Scheme, this was also included in the Burning Spark deck, and basically this has 2 options on it. One is to allow you to draw 5 cards into your hand, or allow you to draw cards until you get 5 cards into your hand, and then the other option on this card is giving your attacks a 20 damage boost for your active Pokemon. Basically the same thing that Muscle Band does, but this one is only a 1 use, and then you have to discard it. So 1 Giovanni's Scheme, and then there's a Pokemon Center Lady. I believe between the 2 decks they have exactly the same trainer cards. So Pokemon Center Lady heals 60 damage, remove all special conditions from one of your Pokemon. So you could use this with, I believe, yep, it is Haunter's ability, Gothic Fear, where you confuse both active Pokemon. You can then use Pokemon Center Lady right on Haunter and remove the confusion from it. And then there's 1 Pokemon Fan Club. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand. And I believe there's more basic Pokemon in this deck than the Burning Spark deck, so this card's a little bit better used in this deck. Professor's Letter, 2 of, allows you to search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Reserve Ticket allows you to search your deck for any card and then put that card on the top of your deck if you get a heads when you flip a coin. Skyla allows you to search your deck for a trainer card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So if you only have, let's say, 1 of, for example, Giovanni Scheme, and you want to use it right away, you can use Skyla to get that card into your hand after putting it on the top of your deck. Switch is important, just because it's always nice not to have to discard energy cards when retreating. And then Tierno, 2 Tierno cards allows you to draw 3 cards. Gives you a good chance of getting some energy or maybe an evolution that you need into your hand. And then Wally is the last trainer card, and this allows you to search your deck for a card that evolves from one of your Pokemon and putting it onto that Pokemon. So for example, you could use it with Ralts or Ghastly or Haunter or Teddiursa, so this card has quite a bit of use in the deck as well. So comparing the 2 decks, these cards are exactly the same, the trainers. So whatever deck you really like most for the Pokemon, just go with that one because the trainers are exactly the same. And then this deck has 18 total energy cards, 11 Psychic, 7 Darkness. So there you have it. Comparing the 2, well, I could just give a grade to this card. I'm going to say 3 out of 5 as well. I gave both theme decks from Breakthrough 3 out of 5 ratings. I would say they're both average, both have their advantages. Like I said, the Burning Spark deck has a lot of cards that you'll want to stash on your deck and then move to the active Pokemon spot when they become relevant, and as well as cards that you want to keep on your bench to retreat your active Pokemon for a lot less energy. That's that type of thing. So that deck more for stashing and more strategic, and this deck's more of a straightforward attacking deck, does some spread attacks. So I personally like this deck just a little bit better, but what's best with all theme decks is just play with it a little bit, see what you think of it, and then one by one change some cards out and just improve that deck little by little. I would say if you're just looking to go out and play, this deck's better. I would probably add the Burning Spark deck. I would add either Typhlosion or Delphox into that one to make it a little bit better, where this one, you can just go out there and play with it right away. So there you have it. Now on to the giveaway part of this video. Basically all you have to do to be eligible for this theme deck is you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and then in the comment section of this video, say which theme deck from Breakthrough that you like better. At the end of this month, I will randomly select a commenter on this video that has successfully entered the giveaway using a random number generator, and I will be messaging that person on YouTube saying that they've won the theme deck. I won't be making a video, just messaging the winner at the end of this month. And the way that you go to your YouTube inbox is just go to youtube.com/messages, and that will bring you to your inbox. If you do receive a message from you, make sure that you go to the channel that the message is from and that it is my channel. In the past, I've had some people try and put their name as Primetime Pokemon, maybe with a space in between Primetime and Pokemon, or like in Pokemon have the PO be P0, that type of thing. Just make sure it is from me when you receive a message. But for complete rules to entry, make sure and check out the description of this video, as well as check out all the links in the description of this video, including links to my blog, Facebook, and Twitter pages. So thanks everyone for watching. Good luck to everyone who enters this theme deck giveaway, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.